These are the requirements for our portrait assignment. So we've been working on this for about 5 weeks now, and even though 5 weeks during traditional school time would be enough time for you to have learned how to draw a portrait um, naturally, I guess, that's not a whole lot of time during virtual learning. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a break, and I am going to allow some tracing, and I've got 10 requirements that I'll be looking for. So they are listed right here. The first one is to draw big. I have two pictures here. One of them is an option you could do. You could do a self-portrait. So this is a picture I took of myself and printed it off. This is another option you could do. You could have a portrait of somebody else. It could be a family member, it could be a celebrity. As long as it's a photograph of a real person, we are focusing on drawing realistically, not cartoony, but realistically. So I've printed off a picture of Chadwick Boseman, and I will be drawing the picture of Chadwick Boseman because, one, it's a better picture. The quality of the picture is a lot better. The photo I have of myself is kind of grainy. Also, this one's really small compared to this picture of Chadwick, and your first requirement is to draw big. So one way that you can judge if a picture is big enough is if the face of the portrait is bigger or as large as your hand. So compared to my hand, it's about the same size. Your hands are a little smaller than mine, so there's a little bit more wiggle room for you guys, but this is how you can know if your picture is big enough. Your second requirement is to have an oval shape. So I still see some kids who draw a face shape like a circle, but realistically, faces are an oval shape. So kind of like an egg, but upside down, larger on the top, more thin on the bottom. So step 2, or requirement 2, oval shape for the face. Like I said, I am going to allow some tracing. One, because it's virtual learning and I think we need this extra little step. Some of us might really need this step. If you want to try to draw the portrait on your own without tracing, that's okay. You don't have to trace, but if you need to trace or you want to trace, that's fine. I'm going to start by doing that too. One problem you might face with tracing is that you can't see all of the details. You can only really see the outline. And this picture that I have looks like it's at the Oscars because there's a statue here. This shape kind of blends in with him. So you kind of have to look and guess where some of these things are. So one thing I can see is that part, and his ear is right there. I have a picture that I printed off, and you might have the option to do that. I would recommend finding a picture, making it as big as your paper, and printing it off. If you have magazines at your house, like celebrity magazines or other kinds of magazines, and you find a large portrait of a person, that's another thing that you could do. Okay, so I'm starting to lose some of the line. I can't really see it. I kind of have to stop and go somewhere else. So do your best with this. That's all I'm asking you to do. And that should make sense because his ears are going to line up to be about the same size. I can also kind of see the outline of his teeth. So while tracing might seem like the easiest thing to do, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But it is something that you can do to help you get started. I'm okay with it. All right, so since I can't really see anything else, I need to stop here. I will fix his mouth in a second. First, I want to move on to requirements 3 through 10. Then, after I say them out loud and kind of talk about them, I'm going to do a time lapse video about those things. So, requirement 3, the eyes should be in the middle of the head. You can tell that on the portrait. But this picture, the photographer seems to be shorter than Chadwick Boseman because the point of view is a little bit more toward his nose, less toward his eyes. He's sort of looking down. So the eyes are going to be actually a little bit higher than they would be on a straightforward portrait. I'm looking for eye details. I'm looking for the nose to be between the eyes and the chin. Like I said, this picture, he's kind of looking down a little bit. Mouth in between the nose and chin. Mouth details, the hairline. So his hairline, I would need to draw that in there. I couldn't see it when I was tracing it. And then most importantly, when it comes to a portrait, is likeness. Does it look like the person?